In just a few hours, investigators in Washington, D.C. are going to get their first chance to examine the black boxes for clues to why a Horizon Air employee stole a plane that crashed on Ketron Island. The voice and data recorders are expected to arrive at the NTSB lab tomorrow. Those boxes were recovered along with flatbeds of debris from the Q400 that have now been hauled off the island and are being searched and held at an unspecified location.
And as we take a live look at SeaTac Airport right now, there are questions about what's next for security at airports all across the country. The plane theft and deadly crash from Friday is being called a 1 in a million event.
But tonight it's triggering sweeping reviews of how to stop such a threat from ever happening again. KOMO's Joe Marino live outside the airport tonight at the cargo area with some of the early ideas to safeguard planes. Joel.
Morgan, Michelle, the plane was stolen from a cargo area behind me, and it was headed down a runway before anyone realized there was a problem. Well, now airports are doing a top-to-bottom review so that even people authorized to be in areas like this can't do any harm. SeaTac Airport has 20,000 workers with various levels of access around the terminal and tarmac. And until now, the safety measures in place have worked.
We secure the perimeter, we secure the airfield, and only the people who are supposed to be near the airplanes.
Airline security expert John Nance says Richard Russell's deadly joyride showed that what we have isn't enough. Russell, a credentialed airline employee, needed less than a minute and a half to spin a turboprop plane around, start the engine, and take off down the center runway.
It would be to know when an airplane moves who's not supposed to move. But nobody's set up to do that, not at this point at least.
SeaTac has already positioned extra security near the cargo hangars. Other measures could include extensive background checks of airport workers, having parked aircraft under video surveillance, or requiring electronic or digital passcodes to start a plane's engines. Well, industry groups are just beginning to look at these changes, and it could be several months before any long-term solutions are implemented. Michelle?
All right, a tough nut to crack. Joel, thanks very much. Congress could actually play a role in looking at what can be done to prevent an internal threat at an airport from happening again. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is calling for a committee hearing into the stolen plane. In her letter to colleagues on the Commerce, Science and Transportation Committee, she says, quote, "I am particularly interested in hearing how technology could play a role in making sure aircraft that are not in service cannot be used inappropriately by airport workers." Today, Port of Seattle Commissioner Courtney Gregoire stressed all of the airport security protocols, by the way, were followed on Friday. But she says discussions are underway with all stakeholders, including airlines, airports, and federal agencies, on how to make security even better. Since the breach, SeaTac has added security guards in the cargo area where Russell stole that Q400.
We're not waiting. We expect a national level conversation. We expect the federal government may have some ideas about regulation. But here at SeaTac, we can lead, and that's why we're not waiting.
SeaTac is currently one of a few airports in the country where all the security badges have to go through the same kind of security screening as passengers.
The air traffic controller we heard on the radio is being praised now for staying calm as he tried to reason with Russell during that rogue flight.
We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
The controller has not yet been identified, but the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says he showed an exceptional display of professionalism.
There are many of us that handled many of emergencies. There are many of us that have been the last person on earth to talk to someone on a radio. You never expect that, but no doubt that it's going to leave a lasting impression.
Retired air traffic controller Jim Ullman says behind the scenes, an entire team was trying to clear the airspace and land planes safely as those fighter jets were scrambled. KOMO News will stay on top of any developments on the plane theft, airport security, and the investigation as experts in Washington, D.C. begin to examine those black boxes. Look for breaking developments on air and online at KOMOnews.com.